Alright, hi everyone, my name is Nimheal. Quiet. And welcome back to Fallout 3. Let's continue to Rivet City. Wonder how though, but we'll get to it. There's a super mutant. My sniper ammo's gone. As well as this. What do I have? I have a hunting rifle, that's right. Weapons. I missed. Fuck. Why is he running that way? That seems odd. Hey. Oh, fuck. He's chasing her. Shit. I discovered Rivet City, but I need to help her. No, god damn it. Well, we are faster, I think, than... Whoa. How's she doing? God damn it. Die, dude. Can I hit? That's so funny that... Oh my god. Would you... Okay, I can't... Hang on. There we go. Rad Roach Meat. Is she running away? Yeah, she is. Anacostia Crossing. Okay. Anacostia. Fuck, man. I need to move my keyboard. I always do that. There we go. Okay, yeah, I've been here. It's the boat, right? Yeah. Oh, you need water.
Please, do you have any... I've been drinking whatever I can find.
Yeah, sorry, man. I just drank it.
Welcome to Rivet City. Please wait while the bridge extends.
Thank you. Well, who are you?
Hold it right there.
Will do.
State your business in Rivet City.
I'm looking, well, I'm just wandering around. I'm looking for my father.
And who might your father be? If he lives on this boat, I know him.
I'm sure you don't know him. Oh, he's lived in a vault his whole life.
Oh yeah? And I'm a fairy princess. You keep up this smart-ass attitude, and you're gonna wind up floating face down.
Come on, it's true. What? He's disappeared and I'm just trying to find him, that's all.
All right. You can go on in. If I hear about any trouble, you're gonna wind up in the river. You get me?
Yep.
Good to see you.
Stairwell. It's locked? Oh. Let's go in here. Polly, okay.
Who are you? Got any psycho? I could really use a fix, but I'm broke. Haha, I run the chem shop, but I'm broke and can't buy chems.
Why don't you just take them from your shop? You shouldn't take that stuff. It'll kill you.
That's what Cindy says too, but I got the itch. I need it bad.
Why are you guys living in this boat?
It's a place to live, safe from raiders and super mutants. With Dr. Lee on our side, maybe we can even begin to rebuild the world.
I've got to run, Polly.
Yeah, me too.
Let's talk to Gary.
I'm Gary. Gary Staley. If you ever get hungry, stop by Gary's Galley.
I am getting a bit hungry.
Perfect timing then. My galley is in the market at the far end. I'll save you some Mirelurk cakes.
Thank you so much. Did you know that Polly Kintelli is an addict?
Yeah, he comes by every night around closing time and tries to get Cindy to let him close up. Thank God she's smarter than that.
I have to go now. Should maybe not be armed. Harkness.
Is there a problem?
Is there anyone on this ship named Pinkerton?
Are those rumors still floating around? Look, I don't have time for swapping ghost stories with you. Pinkerton's a legend. dead or long gone. Don't care much, as I've got real people to take care of. Go bother someone else.
I'm kinda lost. Can you help me?
I suppose.
Where's Dr. Lee's lab?
At the stern. That's the west end to you.
Where are the stores?
Hangar deck. Right in the middle of the ship. Can't miss it.
Gotcha.
But it's closed now. Check back in the morning. It opens pretty early.
Yeah,
I
yeah. Where can I get medical help, Dr. Lee?
Dr. Preston
No.
is in the upper deck, 4 section. That's the top interior floor in the southwest end.
Gotcha. Is there someplace I can
The
sleep?
common room is free, but the beds are lousy. It's on the midship deck. A big open room with lots of beds. You can't miss it. And if you want to sleep well rested, rent a room from Vera Weatherly. She's on the upper deck.
Who's in charge around here?
It doesn't work like that. I'm in charge of security. Dr. Lee runs most of everything else.
Gotcha.
Bannon kinda represents the merchants. He also owns Potomac Attire.
Well, what can you tell me about Dr. Lee?
She's one of the members of the council. Runs the science lab here. Don't bother her unless it's important. Her lab is in the stern end of the ship.
Did you know that Polycantelli is an addict? Wow, I'm just spreading it to everyone.
He's totally strung out. It's gonna kill him one of these days.
Why did you all decide to live on this rusty old tub?
We're the safest, most secure city in the wasteland. Nothing can get in here without our say-so.
Gotcha. Thanks for the help.
Carry on, then.
Nice. Capital Preservation Society, midship deck.
Want to do some buff out? Maybe a little psycho?
No, shut up, man. Filing. Oh, this is locked hard. Has to be something nice in it.
Hey,
Seagrave Holmes.
you must be new. I'm Seagrave. If you've got anything you want to unload, stop by my shop, Rivet City Supply.
Anything? Chems? Guns? How about parts and junk?
Yep, I'll take it all.
Wonderful.
One man's junk is another man's treasure.
Do you know where I can get something to drink?
The Weatherly Hotel is a good choice. It's on the upper deck.
Do you know that Polycantelli is an addict?
He's totally strung out.
Alright, it's the same. I should leave.
See you.
Hey. Make it quick, will ya? I'm coming down and I gotta get my fix.
Why don't you just take them from your shop?
My wife, Cindy, she's always watching the inventory. If I take any, she'll lock me out.
Alright.
Hello.
Seagrave.
Hey.
Gary, I talked to you. Wow, it's crowded in here.
Have you seen any?
Cantelli's door.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I need to learn this ship, man. Science lab. Let's go to the science lab. Capital Preservation Society. Oh, God. Feel free to browse our collection. Constitution of the USA. The Constitution of the United States was drafted in 1786 and adopted a year later by the Constitutional Convention of Philly. This document defines the organization of the U.S. government and sets forth the rules and regulations, known as articles. In addition, there are modifications made to the articles by ruling presidents during their reigns, known as amendments. The Society owns the only known copy of the document to exist, which was retrieved from the ruins of the National Archives in 2256. The Society. What society? Emancipation Proclamation. The Emancipation Proclamation was a document issued by the breathtakingly charismatic President Abraham Lincoln in 1862. This executive order was the beginning of the end of slavery in the United States. Although it was issued during the Civil War, making it a war measure, it paved the way for the 13th Amendment of the Constitution, which completely abolished slavery once and for all. Gettysburg Address. The Capitol Preservation Society is proud to have in its possession a copy of one of the most iconic and prolific speeches in United States history. This speech, given by the astonishingly intelligent Abraham Lincoln on Thursday, November 19th, 1863, laid the groundwork for what would later become the basis of democracy in the United States and set the standards for a country with a government by the people for the people. Okay, the Capitol Preservation Society. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this place that I'm in now has all these copies. Monroe Doctrine. The Monroe Doctrine was presented in 1823 by the average and unremarkable President James Monroe. What? This is... So, the President James Monroe was average and unremarkable, and Abraham Lincoln was intelligent and astonishing. The document warns the European powers of the time not to interfere in the affairs of the Western Hemisphere, citing the examples of colonization and puppet governments as possible intolerances. U.S. Declaration of War on Germany. Part of our collection is a copy of the formal declaration of war made on Germany during World War II on December 11th, 1941, by the government and endorsed by the President Franklin D. Roosevelt. What? Oh, by the President Franklin D. Roosevelt. While the document doesn't evoke the brilliance of other masterworks like the Emancipation Proclamation, it still served as a reminder to the world that the United States wasn't a power to be trifled with. U.S. Declaration of War on China. Although it is uncertain when the declaration of war on China was made, some say 2066 when they invaded Alaska, others say 2067. Wow, there's a lot of numbers here. When the first power armored suits were deployed to counter their forces. It is the last known document of note authored by the United States government before the bombs fell. Had the declaration had the tenacity and might of a stronger president behind it, say Abraham Lincoln, who's to say what the outcome of those tremulous years would have been? That's really interesting, because this hasn't happened. But this is how the fallout started. Can I go back? No. Okay. And just a whole bunch of pre-war stuff. I'm hidden, right? Let's take this. A workbench. Shish kebab? What's that? Motorcycle gas tank? No idea what that is. Lunchbox? No cherry bombs. None. I don't want to make anything. And what is this? Man, my mouse is messing with me. Okay, nothing. Here's a guard.
Hello.
Frag grenade and a pulse grenade. I am hidden. Let's just steal. What happens here? Abraham Washington's door. Abraham Washington? Who are you? I'm gonna steal everything you have, even though I don't know you. This is locked hard. Suitcase is empty. Take some whiskey. Am I over encumbered? I am. Shit. Key for what? I think we will do this when the time comes. Let's talk to you.
Quite an impressive collection, isn't it? Well, don't be shy. Have a look around. Abraham Washington's the name. Curator of this little slice of American history.
Yes, it's an interesting collection indeed.
Ah, a fellow scholar, I see.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Each of the documents in this room tells a small but important story about the history of the United States of America. Unfortunately, the greatest prize of all is missing from the collection.
What? It has to be the Declaration of Independence.
Why, yes. Your knowledge of American history is quite impressive. What an amazing crown jewel in my collection that would be. The original document created by the people for the people.
If you want me to retrieve the Declaration, all you have to do is ask. Let me take a leap of faith here. Do you want me to find it for you?
Indeed I do. Without the Declaration, the rest of these relics are almost meaningless. I must have it.
Gotcha.
Acquire the document for me, and you'll be awarded most handsomely. What do you think?
I'd love to be part of history. Not now. Slow down there, Gramps. What's this reward you're talking about, Gramps?
You'd secure your place in history. The man who rediscovered the Declaration of Independence. Imagine the fanfare.
Can we stop beating around the bush? I suppose that's good enough. What's the reward?
Sorry, my mind tends to wander. I will see to it that you receive a worthwhile trade.
Which is?
I have in my possession the only known schematic for the creation of something called the railway rifle.
That's cool.
Bring me the Declaration, and it's yours.
All right. I'd love to be part of history and bring you the Declaration.
Excellent. You won't regret it, I promise you. Imagine you are taking part in another chapter of American history. I envy you. You can find the Declaration of Independence in the ruins of the National Archives.
Gotcha. I have a few questions about the Declaration of Independence.
Please ask them. After all, knowledge is power.
All this info on the Declaration, where'd you get it? I don't like secrets.
Well, this is quite embarrassing, actually. I sent someone like yourself after the Declaration. She did some of the research for me.
Okay.
But now I haven't seen her in a few months. I wouldn't worry about it. Many have died for causes far less grand than what you're about to undertake.
What does the Declaration of Independence look like? A document?
A piece of what was called parchment. Sort of a thick paper. Has faded handwritten writing all over it. It's no more than 2.5 feet tall and 2 feet wide. If you find it, you should be able to roll it up carefully.
Oh, so it's big. What's the history behind the document?
On July the 4th in 1776, a group calling themselves the Second Judgmental Congress got together at Fort McHenry in Maryland. After a ceremony which ended with Paul Revere singing the famous battle hymn known as the National Anthem, the document was signed. From there, it was sent to England by plane, presumably, and presented to King George himself. Thus began the Evolutionary War.
Let me ask you something else. Can you show me how to get to the National Archives on my map?
In the D.C. ruins, you'll find the National Archives, or what's left of it anyway. The building should contain the document in a protective glass case. Be careful. The place is swarming with super mutants. Here, let me pinpoint its location for you.
Thank you. I have to go now.
Remember, treat the document with care. It's a fragile piece of our history.
Okay. Well, I've already stolen everything that he has. So we need science 50 for this. No, wait, for that. Let's get out of here.
Hey,
Science lab.
For the most advanced scientific center in the capital wasteland, I find your...
Look, Dr. Zimmer, we've been over this. We don't know
This
about
is
the
Zimmer.
runaway robot, and we don't care. This lab is dedicated to solving real problems.
Yes. But Dr. Lee...
Dr. Lee is trying to save lives, and your constant interruptions are interfering with those efforts. Now please, stand aside.
I'm sure the good doctor's work with water purification is fascinating. But if you only knew what was at stake. The technology in that android...
What's at stake? You won't tell me what's at stake. Vagaries and secrecy. A robot's a robot, Zimmer, no matter how shiny the paint job. Now, please.
Ignorance and facetiousness. That's all you people are good for. Shiny paint job indeed. You can't even imagine the Commonwealth's accomplishments.
You know, if you're so smart, maybe you could help us, hmm? But no, that never even crossed your mind. Go peddle your selfishness somewhere else.
Fine, but I'm not leaving. Not until I've spoken to Dr. Lee. I'll be here when she's ready to abandon her chemistry set and talk real science.
She's right here.
Suit yourself. What do you want?
Okay. Hi.
Look, this is a restricted area. I'm tired of telling you people. It's you. My heavens, you look so much like him. You're
Huh?
James's son, aren't you? What are you doing here?
Wait, how do you know who I am? Have we met?
You were too young to remember, and I suppose James never spoke of me. Typical. I'm Dr. Madison Lee. I worked with your parents many years ago. Now I run the science lab here in Rivet City. It was
Okay.
all I had left. When your mother died, your father decided to leave with you. He abandoned our work. We had no choice but to do the same.
Well, I'm trying to find my father. Have you seen him?
You mean you haven't? I assumed he sent you here. For that matter, aren't you supposed to be in a vault? James said he left you there.
This isn't about me. This is about my father. Now, where is he? I left the vault to look for him.
Did you? I was under the impression that's exactly the opposite of what he wanted for you. Well, you won't find him here. He's come and gone already.
I'm sorry. Could you please tell me where he's gone?
Your father insisted that we return to work on Project Purity. I tried telling him too much time has passed. There's no way it would work. Predictably, he refused to listen to me. He says he can prove it will work and headed off to the old lab. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to tell you.
Where's this old lab of yours?
It's in the old Jefferson Memorial Building, northwest of here. Please, don't go after him. It was foolish of him to even think about going there alone.
Can you tell me more about my parents?
I suppose so. I worked with them for several years until your mother died, and your father decided it was time to leave. What else do you want to know?
What was my father like back then?
James? He was very driven, determined to change the world. Well, we all were back then, I suppose. He was focused on two things, really. Making Project Purity work, and your mother. When she died, I think he gave up. I know he wanted to keep you safe, but I think part of what he did was run away. But it seems that he never really was able to get over the idea. I'm frankly shocked that he waited all this time and wants to try again.
I never knew my mother. What can you tell me about her?
Yes, your mother was... well, she was a good woman. A very dedicated scientist. Your father loved her very much.
Oh, she was a scientist as well.
It was a shame that she died. She had been excited to meet you.
Aw, why did my mother die? What happened?
Complications from childbirth. None of us were expecting it. We weren't as prepared as we could have been. You have to understand, we were struggling with scavenged, derelict equipment. We did everything we could.
Okay. You weren't prepared? My mother's dead. I understand. I'm sure you did everything you could.
Yes. Well, I'm sorry it wasn't enough.
Don't worry about it. Let's talk about something else. Can you is there any way you can help me out?
Look, I don't want to be harsh, but I have problems of my own. I don't have the resources to support James's foolish endeavors, or you're chasing after him. I'm sorry.
Come on, isn't there anything you can do to help?
I suppose I can spare
Yes.
a few stim packs. It's not much, but it might make things easier for you.
Thank you. Can you remind me where my I'd like to know a bit more about you.
What? Well, I'm not sure what there is to tell. Your father and I, we worked together for a long time. I think we were really on to something. But then there were complications. The project was abandoned and your father disappeared. I returned here to Rivet City and established the lab you see before you now.
Okay. Tell me about this project you worked on with my father.
Project Purity, we called it. What do you want to know?
Everything. What's the point of it?
It was simple, really. Fresh, clean water for everyone. Such a simple idea, and yet so impossible to realize. The plan was to build a facility that could purify all the water in the tidal basin at once. No radiation, no muck, just clear water. It just turned out to be more difficult than we anticipated.
Why didn't it work?
We had the basic principles down, we understood most of the science behind it, but the radiation in the area is so pervasive. Small-scale tests were fine, but anytime we tried to test the process on a larger scale, it was just too much.
Okay.
Maybe if we'd had more time, or better equipment.
Why did you stop working on it? What happened?
You happened. It wasn't just you. We had more problems than we could handle already, but your birth is what finally pushed it over the edge. Your father decided that you were more important than everything we'd been working for, and he left. He left all of us. Once he was gone, the Brotherhood decided we weren't worth their time anymore. Without their protection, we had to abandon the purifier.
Jesus. Let's talk about something else. What is this lab? What are you doing here now?
This is the Rivet City Science Lab.
Well, I know
It's
that.
taken many long years to put together, but we've done well for ourselves. Our work on portable fusion power and hydroponics are coming along quite nicely, if not quite according to schedule.
Okay, you ever heard of someone named Pinkerton?
That idiot? He left so long ago, most folk don't even remember him. He claimed to have found a secret stash of technology somewhere in the ship. Then he just disappeared.
Okay. What kind of place is this Rivet City?
Rivet City is one of the few bastions of civilization left in the land. We're working to rebuild our society, to make the world livable again.
Okay. I have to go now.
Good luck finding your father.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna tell
You there. What are you, some kind of lab assistant? No, you look a bit more weathered. Are you by any chance for hire?
that. I'm listening. Or what exactly are we talking about?
To the point. I like that. Well, as it turns out, I've misplaced some very sensitive property.
Cut to the chase, Zimmer. What's the job?
You'll be searching for an android. Do you know what an android is? No, I imagine you don't. All you know of robots are those buckets of bolts, those Mr. Handshakers and whatnot. Well, that's not all a robot can be. Not in the Commonwealth. I'm talking about artificial persons that think and feel and do what we program them to. And occasionally, they get confused and wander off.
Sounds like slavery to me. Enough techno-babble, Simmer. Just tell me what you want me to do.
Isn't it quite clear? You are to locate my android. He must have done something drastic, like facial surgery and a mind wipe, or else I would have found him by now. It will be no easy task. He may not even realize he's an android. Don't upset him by talking with him. Just come get me immediately. I'll handle it.
Tell me, Simmer, is your wallet as big as your mouth?
How quaint. Of course you'll be rewarded. I have at my disposal advanced technology from the Commonwealth. I'd be willing to share some of it with you. Just think, you'll be the envy of all your friends.
Sure, I'll look into finding your android for you.
Excellent. Locate my android, and you won't be disappointed. Here, listen to this message he sent me. He's mocking me. I swear, I'll make him pay for that.
Alright, I have to go now. I'm gonna talk to him later. Let's save and pause and end the episode. My name is Nimheal. Thank you so much for watching, and please do consider subscribing if you want more of this kind of content, and I will of course see you in the next one. Bye.